Welcome to Finding Your Way with Lori and Tonya. I'm Lori.
I'm Tonya.
And so today we're going to talk about our environment and how our environment does impact us mentally and physically, emotionally. And so we're going to talk a little bit about different types of space, whether that's our physical space, our emotional space. So get us started with that.
So I think the first space is the one we always think about. It's our space, our home, our environment. When we're talking about anything from the decorations to the clutter to how it feels energetically. So I think a big example for this for me is I did not enjoy coming home. Everything was dated. We had been in the house for 15 years. We'd raised 3 boys in this house. And so the boys were all old enough now that I could buy some nicer things and the carpet wasn't get ruined. And so about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I redid the house from top to bottom. And even now, I'll walk in and it just feels good. It's eye-pleasing, of course, because I picked out everything and I really enjoy the aesthetics of the home, but just the energy that I get when I walk in the door feels good. And so I think that that's where we spend a lot of time. So making sure that when you walk in that door that it feels good, raises your vibration, and is a place that you want to be.
Yeah, and so if you can't redo everything, because that's not practical for everybody, it is just looking around where you can clear space. So whether that is maybe you collected bills or something, or clutter in your home, and so how can you start tackling that a little bit at a time, because it can be overwhelming. I know my garage is overwhelming right now, and so it needs to be decluttered, but sometimes it's easier just to do like a drawer at a time, or a closet, or underneath a counter space, or things like that.
And what you'll find is, as you start doing these small projects, and some people, the project's harder to do than others because they want to hold on to things. The more that you can release that you're not using, that's not serving you, that you don't need, the more things that you want and that you do need, you're giving the opening for those things to come into you. And Lori made an example of a closed fist, right? So if you wrapped around something with your fingers so tight, holding on to something that really isn't serving you, your hand's not open to accept the things that you want and that would serve you better. And so it's very important. Pick one project at a time. Clean a junk drawer. Clean the entryway, go for a closet.
Yeah, so I used to watch Oprah when she had her television show, and she always talked about, her closet was full of all the different range of sizes that she had been in her weight loss journey. And I don't know that she addressed it on there, but what we know now, a lot of blogs and articles and things are out there now about how that really is sending your mind a message that, okay, well, I can just fluctuate for my whole life because she's got us covered. She's got every size in the book in her closet, so therefore, your weight can fluctuate, whether that's the tiniest of the tiny or the largest of the largest.
And I think that is subconscious. It's a subconscious when you walk in and you see all the sizes. I can be any of these at any given time. I know that I've had about a 12 size decrease. So I have lost up to 12 sizes over the last few years. And as I lost or went down a size, I discarded that group of clothing. And I basically was saying to God, to the universe, that's no longer me. That's not serving me. I won't go back to that. And so as I went down a size, I gave the size away and just said, I'm not going back there again. So I think it's subconsciously what you're doing when you're getting rid of things and leaving that door open is you're also saying, this serves me and this doesn't.
Yeah, and how discouraging is it if you went and you couldn't wear something that you really wanted to wear? I mean, it's like setting yourself up for that discouragement. So your space around you absolutely has an impact on you mentally and physically. And so that's home. We do spend a lot of time at home, and so tackling that one drawer, one closet at a time, but also the other spaces, one being your car. I know I spend a lot of time in my car.
I do too. And it feels good. When I have vacuumed out and cleaned my car, my drive seems easier. I enjoy the time in my car. I can look around and I don't feel anxious. I have a teenage boy his car looks like his bedroom, and there's stuff everywhere. And so when I need to ride with him and I get in, the anxiety I feel from everything, it's the energy, but it's the anxiety from getting into this cluttered space. It is not serving me. It's not serving him either. But I can't clean his space. Only he can clean his space. So a car is another one that we spend a lot of time there. Take a minute and see how you feel when you get in yours. And if it doesn't feel good, fix it.
Yeah, my dad is notorious, like all of our lives, it's like, you got to have your car clean. Like, your car's got to be clean. He didn't really care about the house, but the car had to be clean. And I was with him this past weekend, and I had run back in the house for something, and I came out, and he was like all up in my car looking, and he's like, oh, I just love your car. But yes, maybe he loves my car, but I think it's neat and tidy and clean and feels new.
And feels good.
I mean, it's relatively new, but I mean, it feels new because I keep it clean. Yeah.
And so I think another part of space is your head space. All too often we don't recognize that as space, but you think about the things that go through your head on a daily basis, what's serving you and what is not, and what can we clean up. And for me, a lot of times it's the to-do list. It's the things that make me anxious because they're running around in my head over and over and over. And what I do is I have an app on my phone that I just write notes in. So I will do a to-do list to get it out of my head and there so that I'm not constantly thinking about it. So cleaning up my headspace gives me the option to think about things I do want and things I want to invite in and get rid of the things I don't.
Yeah, so I did this for my husband. He took a new job that he had a lot more responsibility, and I knew he was going to have a lot on his mind when he went to lay down at night. And so got him a journal to put right by his bed, to any of those things that are like floating and, cycling around in your head. Just dump them right there in that journal, and they'll be there in the morning. You don't even have to worry about it. Sleep easy.
So you're getting that headspace cleaned.
But another thing around that though is who you're around and what you're around contributes to that negative stuff in your headspace too.
And your environment as far as the office. So a lot of times we talk about the office and what that looks like, and you can't clean other people's stuff, but you can make sure that yours. So if you share space with someone, you can't keep theirs clean, but just having your area that's organized and neat, you're more productive. But again, you're inviting in the things that you do want and the projects you do want to work on because you've gotten the projects you don't off your desk, or you finished the projects that weren't maybe as fun.
Yeah, I put a lot of stock in that. And so my office is very cozy and warm and inviting. And people tell me all the time, people don't even know, will go, gosh, is this your office? I would just like to come and hang out in here. And so that's good. I want good energy in my office. Absolutely. Because that's where I'm spending 8 hours a day. Right. I need it to be where I've got clarity of mind, and if things are jumbled up, my mind's going to be jumbled up too.
Well, and also think about the space around you, where you go to church, where you shop, the places that you spend a lot of time. Are you going to those places, shopping those places because it's what you've always done? Is it time to maybe pick some new places that feel good and feel better and serve you a little bit better? Those are your spaces too. Those are places you spend time. So really assess that.
Yeah, I mean, so I was going to a grocery store that just felt, the energy didn't feel good. Like, it felt dirty. It wasn't dirty, but it felt dirty. And I had to stop going and think about like Target, like how Target has done their marketing and everything. They make you feel good. Like, it feels clean and crisp and new, and
the energy.
Yeah, the energy's just good. And I mean, I think that's probably purposeful because they know that they're drawing in their right and ready customer.
And if you feel good, you're going to stay longer and you're going to spend more money.
Yeah.
So think about those things. I think another part of our environment or our space is who are we sharing that space with? I think this can be a big one. There are sometimes, like your coworkers, I have great ones, so we're good with there. But sometimes people don't. And that coworker space, you can't always choose them, but you can choose whether to sit with them at lunch, whether to go to lunch, whether to separate yourself from some of the water cooler talk that goes on. Your friends, they are a big part of your space because you're around them.
It's hard. I mean, it's a difficult thing to do, to really get laser focused on who's uplifting you and who is bringing your energy down, and then taking action away from those that are bringing your energy down.
And not sharing space with them.
Right, because I mean, that could be a family member that you love.
Absolutely.
I mean, you love people sometimes, but that doesn't mean that you have to spend all your time with them if they're not really there to serve you or serve the highest for everybody.
Right. So I think the lesson is really take a look at all your spaces.
And how you're actually contributing and dialoguing with people, whether it's people you know really well or people you don't. Like, are you engaging in negative talk and gossip and that kind of thing? Or are you one of those people that nobody would ever think that of you because you're so good about keeping it light and positive and real, but not negative?
Right. So how are you interjecting yourself in other people's space too? So I think the takeaway is take a look at your space, all your spaces, your mental space, your physical space, and where is it serving you? Where could there be adjustments made?
Yeah. And so that's all we needed to share with you today, is just to really be aware of that your space does impact how you show up in the world. It impacts your emotions and your feelings and how you respond to others. And so if you need some cleaning up to do, you might need to get on that.
A little bit at a time is okay.
Yeah.
So we hope this is helpful. If you enjoyed what you saw here, please like it, please share it, please become a subscriber so you can get info on every time we post a video. We also have a great Facebook group we love called the Positive Vibe Tribe, so please ask to be a member there too if you like this. We'd love to help, and we'd love to serve, and we'd love to hear what you guys think.